EGM Network.
From Studio A in sunny Florida, welcome to Beauty and the Beach Radio, where it's all about who's beautifying Vero Beach. Today's show is brought to you by Dale Sorensen Real Estate. And here's your host and glamour girl, makeup artist, Cindy Goetz.
Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you've had a great start to 2025. You guys, I know a lot of you don't write checks anymore, but if you have, did you oops and put 2024? Or when you're talking to people, you're like, oh crap, it is 2025. Yes, it is. Seatbelt in, you guys. I have two of my favorite guests here today, and we're going to make sure you get off to a rockin' start. So as we start, listen, I love the new year for so many reasons, but the biggest, it's a reset button. Do you not? Now, honestly, in my opinion, God gives us a reset every day, but we get a reset, a big reset every year, and you get to kind of remap your life and your plan and what you want and your dreams and your goals. So as we start, the new year, 2025, let me remind you of a story told by Norman Vincent Peale. I love this man so much. His writings are incredible and so inspiring. Told by Norman Vincent Peale about a group of people who were asked at the beginning of the year to write down what they expected of the year. Okay. The results were not to be opened until the following January 1. Okay. So here's what they discovered. One man had written, in the next year, all I can expect is more of the old miserable same. That's exactly what he got. Another man, basing his expectations on his horoscope, had predicted, I look for more difficulty and frustration. That's what he had. Yet another man in the group had died during the year. When his envelope was opened, his expectations read, since none of the men in my family have survived beyond the age of 60, I expect to die this year. And he did, 1 month before his 60th birthday. One of the women, however, had listed 10 worthy goals she expected to achieve. 1 year later, 9 of the 10 had come to fruition. That's right, Cindy. Yes. So guys, what you think about, you bring about. What you think about, you bring about. So let's talk about bringing in an amazing year. I've got two people that are going to change your thinking a little bit so that you can bring your best. You can bring your best game to 2025. We're going to make it super easy for you. We're going to do a little back then and now and comparison to really make it easy for you to kind of go, okay, this is what I need to change. So, guys, if you didn't know this already, 3 of the top 10 New Year's resolutions are you ready? 3 of the top 10. Here we go. 1 is lose weight. That's one of the top 10 New Year's resolutions, to lose weight. The second is to eat healthier. And the third is get more fit. You guys, my guests today are going to cover all that. How to lose weight, how to eat healthier, how to get more fit. They are a package bundle. Okay. They're BOGO. They're BOGO. But you've never been described like that. They're a husband and wife team. They are co-owners of a local fitness center called Lift Vero. They are musicians and singers in the local band Riptide. They are dog parents, and they are driven by their very strong sense of faith. Please welcome back to Beauty and the Beach Radio, Bonnie and Steve Pfiester.
Yay. Okay, before we start, I have a question.
Yes.
Was one of those 10 goals for the lady that her husband died before 60? Was he the guy?
Oh,
he was the guy, wasn't he? Man, Henry Ford said.
That would be an interesting close to that story.
Right, but Henry Ford said that. He said, if you think you can or think you can't, you're probably right.
Yeah.
That's what was kind of like,
yes.
I was connecting with you. I was there.
Don't be giving anybody bad ideas on that one. Sealing up that envelope. Oh my gosh.
That was bad.
Oh, that was bad. Oh my gosh. Bonnie and Steve, by the way, Happy New Year. I think of you and Mr. and Mrs. Fitness of Vero Beach, and I couldn't think of anybody better to have our New Year start here on Beauty and the Beach Radio. Your passion, your life passion is to help people feel good about themselves, be more beautiful inside and outside. And so I'm excited to dive in. Bonnie, you had this great idea, and thank you for that, to really compare where we've been. We're talking 1950s to where we are now when it comes to food, when it comes to our physical lifestyle. And it was really fascinating, some of the things that you sent me, and I'm excited to dive in. And why this is so relevant is we are starting a new year. And I think people want to just have a better life, whether it's feeling better, less tired, more energetic with the grandkids, more energetic with the kids. And some of these changes we're going to talk about, they're basic lifestyle changes, but it will allow them to have a better life, whatever that looks like to them. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I think in this period of our lives as gym owners, our clients are less worried about getting the six pack or, competing or whatever. They're more about, I want to live life to the fullest and healthy and be able to do the things that I want to do with my family and to be the best provider I can be or whatever their situation is. And that's why I wanted to kind of take a lifestyle approach of this. And it's like, let's not maybe look at huge, crazy, extreme goals, but let's look at life of what do I need to do purposely, because life has changed so much in 50 years. We aren't as active and moving as much as we used to. And we are surrounded by huge amounts of food and varieties and things to distract us. And so it's going to be definitely one of those things where we have to make some intentional decisions and simple guidelines. But I think that what we can talk about today is doable stuff.
Absolutely.
That we can kind of just, even if we took one or two of the things and started to apply it a little bit at a time.
Absolutely. And Steve, before we get started, as a trainer at Lift, what are you hearing from your clients? What are they wanting? Are they wanting that to live longer so they can see their kids, get married? Like, what are their goals? And because I feel like Bonnie's hit a point. It's not just to get a six pack. Maybe it is, but.
And I think it depends on what the trainers are working with, and with our clientele, and this is mostly people over 40. Seems to be mobility is a huge thing, and it's not just moving, but it's moving well, moving pain free. Yeah. And I think they realize that. I think the unsaid goal is I do want to live long. I want to see my grandkids get married, or I want to just my kids get married. Depending on the age of the client. But I'm seeing mobility and just health in general. But here's something I want to interject early in this conversation is they think they're coming to the gym to improve their physical body and their energy. It's an amazing thing how their soul and their mind are also involved in that. And then it's weird, but finances, everything tends to fall in line when we start exercising some self-discipline and we go through the sort of the rigmarole. Bonnie's saying these small decisions turn out to be these big changes later on. But in short, mobility and energy is what I'm hearing a lot of my clients say this whole last year.
So it's interesting, Steve, if you take what you just said and then it kind of, by working on yourself physically, it can kind of bleed into other areas of your life, that could cover probably the top 10 resolutions, because it's more about finances and things like that. And you're saying that actually can help affect them because they're their mindset. Yeah,
they're not. You can't pull anything apart from any. They're all a piece, and all of that. And a great way to start is with your sleep and how you're eating, your fitness. All of that has everything to do with everything. Your relationships, your finances, your faith. Whatever that might be. But it kind of, I'm not going to say it all starts in the gym, because it doesn't. But I do see things fall in line when people start taking care of themselves.
Sure. I think it's discipline. I mean, I was talking to my mom about this a few years ago when she's lost over 100 pounds to get to where she is now. And she said, when I started working on my fitness and I practiced self-discipline in my eating and in my exercise, she said everything fell in place. Like I was more disciplined in my Bible study. I was more disciplined and and I was sharper at work.
Good point.
And I think we just live in an era right now where we are kind of addicted to laziness and shortcuts because we can. There's so many shortcuts and things that we have access to. And so it has gotten us a little, especially after COVID.
Yes.
We don't even have to get out of the house anymore. We can just deliver in and work from home and do a lot of stuff that kind of keeps us in that pattern of laziness.
So, okay, so let's take the concept that you and I are going to talk about, eat and move like it's 1955. You just mentioned, right now we have so many conveniences, right? I mean, we freaking have robots now to do our work for us. It's crazy. It's so crazy. So let's go back. Let's take our audience back to 1955. Okay, so we're going to actually paint a little bit of picture of what that was like. And I love some of the things that you sent me, Bonnie. First of all, okay, so how has our food and ourselves changed since 1955? First of all, the meals and the menus are what today? They're bigger.
Oh, everything's
the meals are bigger.
Super
the
size.
Yes.
You go to Cheesecake Factory and it's like a novel. You would go through all your choices.
It's true.
No wonder you want to eat everything by the time you order.
And it's funny, Cindy and I were discussing before going on air about this topic that when you go to Europe, your portions are way smaller, than going, let's say, to Cheesecake Factory. Not only do they have a large menu, but the bowl of pasta is like the size of your lap. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So we had very few fast food restaurants back in 1950s.
Yes. When I was researching it, I was like, oh my gosh, White Castle.
I was like, White Castle, those little tiny...
Yes. Now we look at
sliders, right? They were like sliders. What we call sliders.
They would be sliders today.
Yeah.
And I think back, because Crystal was what I grew up with, and I had heard of White Castle,
yes.
but that is the difference on the sizing of just like when you look at a McDonald's meal that started off when you went to McDonald's to get a burger back in the 50s or 60s. They were teeny.
Yeah.
And now, we have the opportunity to supersize and everyone wants to get the best deal. And so we're eating
putting
3 or 4 times.
3 patties on a burger and you're like, whoa.
I feel like singing God Bless America right now. I'm not going to, I love the 3 patties.
Yeah, and with a little Fat Albert, hey, afterwards.
That's totally a man for you, right? Why eat 3 when I can have 1 sandwich of all 3 patties? Efficiency, right?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Well, did you see the menu, the McDonald's menu when it first came out? It was like 5 items.
Oh my gosh.
It was like French fries, burger, shake, drink. That was it.
Yeah.
Those were your choices.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, okay. So obviously the foods have changed. Restaurants have changed. Movement has changed.
Yeah. Big time.
So talk about so back then, Bonnie, let's talk about labor intensive jobs.
Well, there's so many. There's so many things that are automatic now, that are automated.
Yes.
And women in particular were at home. And if you when I was doing the research, it said they had heavy vacuum cleaners, and I remember my grandmother's vacuum cleaner, and it was like 40 pounds. It was like so heavy, and it just everything was more labor intensive. Yes. Even just normal duties. My grandfather mowed the yard with a regular non-powered.
My mom still does a push mower for trim. Yes.
Well, that was his exercise. Yes. Once a week, Saturday, he was pushing that non-motorized motor that just, that he motorized.
Have you ever tried to do a U-turn in a 1953 panel wagon?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is before power. They didn't have power steering. Yeah. You got to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger if you want to. Yeah, so you have to be in shape.
Our panel wagon has got this big old steering wheel, and we're on the phone. We're like, hold on, I got to put the phone down. I got to turn. I got to make a turn.
Yeah, it's 2 hands, 10 and 2, baby. Yeah, you got to have some guns if you want to. But yeah, you had to be in shape just to live.
People wash dishes by hand. People actually clean.
My mom still does, by the way.
People did their own yards and they cleaned their own house.
She's from that generation. Yeah, she's from that generation. She still has a big vacuum cleaner too. So, but that's
and we got up to turn the TV channel.
What?
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Hey, turn that channel. Hold on a second.
Or volume.
Or volume.
Yes.
I remember yoga used to be you'd make an antenna in the middle of your living room so your TV would, and you had to hold that pose. You hold that pose all the way through Love Boat. Yeah. No matter if you're shaking. That was yoga. That's the beginning. Don't move. We're losing a picture. Right?
It's
the good old days.
Oh my God. So let's talk about how to eat and move like it's 1955. So let's talk about how to eat like this, not that. Let's start with grocery shopping.
Well, when I did the research, people grocery shopped on a regular basis. This is not like us now. I mean,
Smaller
where we're going to
refrigerators
Sam's and we're just loading up for the month or for the couple weeks or whatever. And they're showing some pictures of some of our challengers right now that have all followed our meal plan with the grocery list, and it's all whole food stuff. It's stuff, and it really is. I could take that meal plan and inject it into the 50s, and all the stuff that's on there is stuff that they would have been able to get back then. Yeah. So it's going back to the basics. We have really cluttered our grocery stores with junk. Yeah. And you've heard the saying of going around the grocery store and just go around the perimeter
on the outside.
Around the outside. But that's really what we're kind of missing. There's so many distractions and so many fillers that we have to really focus on. What are the things that God provided for us, which is food from the ground and our animals and stuff. And that's what people did then, is they went to the grocery store. A lot of women did not have cars, so they would even take their bicycle and obviously not get that many groceries because they couldn't take that many groceries home. So simple vegetables and eggs, and it might have been a regular trip, whether it's once or twice or 3 times a week. It was not what we do now, where we really load up and just try to eliminate how many times we have to go suffer through the grocery store.
So grocery shop more often so that you're not, stocking up on things that maybe have preservatives that'll last you an entire year.
How many times have you gotten vegetables, celery and different things you think you're going to eat, and then they go bad because you don't want them?
Right. Yes, I have a stock of celery right now that is ready to go to the trash. Cook more at home. Now, we did do that in COVID. I feel like we've gotten away from it, but cooking more at home, you say, is actually, growing up, it wasn't 1950s, but we had dinner at the table, all 4 of us kids, with mom and dad at 6 o'clock. When dad would come home, we'd have dinner every evening at the table.
And that was normal.
Yeah, that was normal.
I feel like it's looked at as optional. Probably the number one thing that people tell me when we're talking about, joining the challenge and going over meal plans and stuff like that is they talk about not having the time to cook or meal prep. And I'm like, people need to embrace that those are normal daily tasks that are okay. Embrace the time in the kitchen that you're cooking for your family and you can gather them around the dining table, because that's going to be stuff that is important, where you get to talk to your kids or your spouse or whatever, instead of just it's an option to maybe do takeout or some delivery or do some other kind of option, when really that's one of the healthy things that would be a really good thing to be able to make time for.
So before we go to station break, we've talked about kind of how to go back to 1950s and shop properly and more frequently and do the meals at home and pack your lunch, drink more water. Let's talk about movement. Let's kind of emulate 1955s. How can we do that right now in this world?
One of the things we can do is purposely schedule even just 30 minutes a day, which I think most people are wasting at least a minimal of 30 minutes a day on social media or TV or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Of specific things that don't always have to be fitness. They don't have to be, I have to go to the gym for 30 minutes a day. It'd be great for you to do that 3 times a week or something pretty, doable. But even like 30 minutes a day, whether it's walking the dog or doing some house cleaning and doing something purposefully on your feet, moving. Yeah. A little bit of yard work or gardening, or instead of meeting your friend for a glass of wine, you want to meet for a walk on the beach.
Sure.
Anything like that. Because back in the 50s, they did a lot more walking. They were walking their kids to school.
Yeah.
Which we don't do as much.
Absolutely.
They were taking walks with their family or their spouse after dinner. They were just doing more. They were doing more things on their feet, even if it wasn't exercise.
Yes. Well, we have to go to break, but I want to mention this that I thought was so good. People are eating out more often, and it says they're spending an average of $191 a month on eating out. And Bonnie, I saw a little comment that you made that is a gym membership is definitely cheaper than $191 a month. So they can do it, right?
Yes.
They can do it. All right, you guys, we're going to go to a station break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's Bluegrass Night every Thursday at Marsh Landing Restaurant. Enjoy our famous swamp water with down-home favorites like frog legs, fried chicken, and peanut butter pie. The music starts at 6:30 every Thursday. Call for reservations. Bluegrass Night at Marsh Landing in Fellsmere.
The Fellsmere Frog Leg Festival is the biggest frog leg festival in the world, January 16th through the 19th. But it's more than just frog legs and gator tail. There are hundreds of booths with unique gifts, great live music, and a midway full of carnival rides and games galore. Admission and parking are free. Marine Bank and Comcast present the Fellsmere Frog Leg Festival, January 16th through the 19th. FrogLegFestival.com.
I'm John King, certified arborist with King Tree Management. Every cut on your tree is permanent. King Tree Management cuts your cost by making the right cuts the first time. Contact me at King Tree Management. We treat your trees like royalty.
Right now at Sunshine Furniture, it's New Year's sale time. Save up to 50% on selected closeout styles of Lloyd Landers, Berlin Garden, Capri, Universal Coastal Living, Four Seasons, and lots more. Sofas, dining sets, patio groups, chaises, umbrellas, occasional chairs, bedroom sets, coffee table, lots of pieces on sale now for inside and out. We're your local Tommy Bahama and Lexington store where you can create an island paradise and make your life one long weekend. Sophisticated looks with a mix of coastal and Caribbean style, Tommy Bahama Home has everything you need for your Florida living. Also, all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price. Visit Sunshine Furniture now for our January sale. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com. Also, don't forget to shop our outlet and sales center just across the street.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beauty and the Beach Radio. I'm Cindy Goetz, your host. We want to thank Dale Sorensen Real Estate for making sure that we're always on air and we can give you all the good stuff that people are doing in this town and beautifying Vero Beach. So whether you're buying or selling a home, you can find them at 772-231-4712. You can also find them on SorensenRealEstate.com. We also want to thank Varietals and More. They always make sure our guests have lovely beverages. And of course, we're having bubbles today because we are celebrating the new year, 2025. And so thank you, Varietals. They're on Royal Palm Point. Go see them. And if you mention Beauty and the Beach Radio, you do get a 10% discount on your purchase. So, all right, you guys, we're wrapping it up with Bonnie and Steve Pfiester with Lift, which is a fitness center right here in Vero Beach. And Bonnie, Steve, if we had to, really bring it down to three things, let's pretend they're in your gym right now and they're looking at you and they're like, okay, I'm so overwhelmed. I just need give me three tips to change to a better life. Because there's a lot here. Yeah. What would be three things that they can do to get started to a better life?
Let's take a tapeworm off the table.
No. Sorry. The first thing I would say is to make a realistic goal for you. Okay. Because maybe replacing
food-wise, physically, or everything.
Everything. Just one thing that has to be done. Just like you opened this show at is the people that wrote goals. Yes, they succeeded. Okay. So what is doable for you? The second thing would be whatever those things are, put them in place. Like for instance, if you're wanting to make a deal where your family is going to meet 3 times a week for a dinner at the table, that's better than none. Okay. The second thing would be eating whole foods. Okay. And eating on smaller plates because our plates just get bigger and bigger every year or decade. And then the third thing is just be more purposeful about moving. Are you being purposeful at least 30 minutes a day to have some kind of movement, whether it's just running errands, cleaning, going to the gym, doing something? We have to be more purposeful because it's not in our normal daily activities.
Yeah, if you don't have at least one movement a day, then...
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The comic relief.
So write down the... oh, God.
So bad.
Go for it.
Write down the goals. Okay. Whatever your goals are.
Yes.
I would say stick to 10 or less because then you get overwhelmed.
Yes. Yeah.
Write down your goals. Stick to whole foods if you can. Okay. And then
small portions.
And then movement. And it doesn't matter if it's lifting weights or walking up and down the stairs.
And don't just like hope you're going to have be more active. You have to schedule it. It's going to be that important. It's not going to come naturally. We're not going to have extra time in the day. We have to schedule it.
Okay, we have
Stop
30 seconds left.
Sometimes it's natural.
Steve, what is your New Year's goal? Go.
Can you switch gears?
Mine is so typical, I'm ashamed, but it's to lose weight and get back in shape because honestly, since surgery 5 years ago, I haven't been my optimal. So no more excuses. I'm ready to.
All right, so you can relate to everybody.
Sometimes the
10
New Year isn't about doing something new. It's about maybe doing something you've done before.
All right, you guys, we wish you a happy New Year and we love you. And go to lift.